Hello and welcome to another episode of McEwen's Photoshop webinar. This will be the last one in the Photoshop series, but over the coming weeks I'm going to put on a few other, well, let's start with the begin image, I think. We'll start with a few other tutorials on different aspects of the design cycle in the last 100 years, so we'll cover everything in them. But this will be the last live performance, so let's get on with it. Let's see what we're going to be doing tonight. Right, first thing I need to do is turn on the light. There's always something. Okay. Right, so this is what we are going to be doing tonight. I'm a bit red here, but I don't know if I could lower the saturation. But anyway, let's get on with it. We're going to be working exclusively with the pen tool. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use the pen tool. Its pitfalls. It's one of the most important tools that's in the Photoshop software. It's been around since, God, I think, the very first, version of Photoshop. It's been around and we can work with it. It's been enhanced over the years, 20 odd years. It was very basic when it first came out. You could only put in a number of points, a certain number of points. And then they gave you an option where you could tell Photoshop how many number of points you wanted to put in. But what we'll do is we'll nip on over to the Photoshop screen and we'll get on with it. I don't see anybody yet. Yeah, I see Karen. There's Rob from Ustream. So we'll get on with it. The pen tool. It's down here in the tool palette. Okay, so you can mosey on over here. If you click and hold it, you'll see a lot of different tools connected to it, like the freeform pen tool. I very rarely use that. I'll show you what it does. You can create, you need to be very, very accurate with this. So it would create this this path, and the paths can be seen over here. There's the work path up here. So I very rarely use the freeform tool. Not because I don't like it, it's because I'm not a fantastic drawer, so I think you would really need to be a good drawer or know what you want to do with this before, like if you wanted to do some, crazy shapes and, you were going to do something with that shape, then you could use that, I very rarely use it, so let's move on to the pen tool itself. Add anchor point, delete anchor point, convert point tool. We're going to use them within the pen tool. Okay, so if we click the pen tool, we can see right away up here it says auto add and delete. Yeah, so there is a way, I'm going to show you, to auto add and delete control points. Let's draw a path. Let's first of all draw something. Okay, up here I'm going to draw a path. Later I'll draw a shape, right? But I'm just going to draw a path right now. So let me just draw a simple path like that. Okay. Now each one of these black dots, black squares, is an anchor point. Okay. Each one of these black squares is an anchor point. These anchor points can be moved around. Okay. If you press the control key, you can click on an anchor point and you can move it around. Okay, like that. Very, very easy. We can delete an anchor point by just taking the pen tool itself and moving over it. If we hold the Alt key, we can add an anchor point. Okay, so we'll add one there and we'll delete that one. So now we've got a different shape. Yeah, but we have this control over the actual anchor point itself, and these are handles. So let's say I wanted a point in there. These are handles of this anchor point. You know, I can go in and show you that a bit better. So those little black dots are the handles for this anchor point. Okay, if you wanted to make this area from this anchor point here to this anchor point here straight, all you need to do is hold the anchor key, right? Hold the option key, sorry, and click on it, and it will make them straight. Okay, if you hold the control key, that's the control key, yeah, you can move them around. Now, let's say you wanted to delete that one, right? But you wanted another anchor point in here. So you can click an anchor point in here and you can pull it out. So let's say that we've pulled it out straight like that, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold the control key down again and I'm going to pull this one out. Now let's say I wanted to keep this line curved, okay? So if we go in here and we curve that line like that, but I want to straighten this line, we just hold the Alt key and pull this straight on top of that one, okay? And we can go in and we can adjust this line how we want using the control handles of the anchor point. Remember that these are the anchor points. These black or dots are these squares are the anchor points, and these are the control handles. Very important that we get that. So how do we use it in context of something else? Because it seems like a very accurate tool, and it is. I'm creating paths with it at the moment, but it can be very, very complex if you want to look at it like that. I don't look at it like that. You know, I look at it like it's just another tool, and what we'll do is we're going to go in and we're going to use it to trace one of these icons here. Okay, so with that selected, what can we do with it? Well, we have this. We'll just knock that off, take this. We have this here, okay, this, go back to the pen tool again, Steve. So we have this shape, right, and I want to delete that one. I'll add another anchor point in there, pull that out, sorry, add another anchor point in there and pull that out. I'm using the control key to pull it out, and all I'm doing is using the control key and clicking on it. So this will convert the anchor point from a Bezier curve or a smooth curve to a sharp curve. Okay, so we have this here. So what can we do with it? If we go over to the Paths tab, right, we can rename the path to Steve's path, anything you want. Okay, so we can rename the path. So what can we do with it? Well, we have it here. If we hit one of the easiest ways to work with it is to right click and say we could make that a selection, for instance. Okay, no feather, make it a selection and fill it with the foreground colour. Easy. You know, we have this path saved here, so we can click on this path. We can take the path, move it. Here's the path here, sorry. So we have the path here. If we click on the tool again, okay, I'm just adding points to this. And if I take this and take the path selection tool, I can click on the path selection, there it's there. And to make a selection, again doing it another way, I could right click, I could say make selection. We've already done that. So to make another selection, I just hold the command or the control key and hit enter. and it will make a selection of the two of the paths, because both paths are part of Steve's path. Okay, so it's going to make a selection of both of them. Right, we can choose a colour again, anything at all, and we can fill them. Now I've just filled it with that colour, but we can also go up here and we've got active layers here. Okay, so we have those three paths on one layer. Right, something else you've not been shown is how to take something from one layer and put it on another. I usually just select it, right click, and layer via cut, so it will move the black one on its own layer. Yeah, so I just get rid of that, we don't need that. Right, Command D. So what about shapes? We've already seen how we can create a path with it. Well, we'll do the paths once we'll do the shapes once we've done this part with the paths, and then we'll get on to actually using it in a real environment. So we'll get rid of them and we'll bring up a new layer. So what we'll do is we will zoom in a bit. Okay, hit P to bring up the pen tool, and we'll start to trace this out. Now, if you look closely at these, they are not square, they're kind of rounded, and it's kind of rounded at the corners as well. You know, every internal corner, external corners, they're kind of rounded. So what I would do to get that, I would start with the pen tool, okay, and I would come up to where it is a straight line. I would click there, and I'd click just before it, and then just drag it a bit in the direction that you want it to go. Then come out of here, and so what I'm doing is I'm clicking just before it, and I'm dragging. I'll show you that again. Right, so I'm clicking just before it, holding the mouse button down, dragging a little bit, and then coming round the corner, dragging it down a bit, and then coming down. So I'm getting this path defined as I'm carrying on with it. You know, so I'm getting the radius on those external corners thrown in for good measure. And all I'm doing is coming round the path, tracing this out. Very, very laborious job, but it's very, very accurate. Now when I get here, all I need to do is click and drag it, okay, and keep that handle keep that handle where you want it to go. For instance, you can move this handle independently, okay, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep this handle where I want it to go, and that's up here. This is a sharp corner, so just click it once, okay, and then we're moving on to this one, which has I think a slight taper in it. It has a slight taper, and it's just a matter of moving it up and bringing it in. It's a very, very accurate tool. Hold the Alt key down, pull it round here. Always place that handle where you want this to go. Put one on the top here. Okay, we can come down. Come down here. And it may be painstaking, but it's if you need accuracy in anything, this is the tool to use. Again, I'm just going to pull that down. I'm pulling the handle onto the line that I want it to follow. I'm going to come down here like that. Just going to pull that over. See it going over like that. pull that round just a little, pull that down there. Okay. And if you hold the space bar down, you can move the anchor point wherever you want it to go. I went a little bit too far with it there. And that is the pen tool. Okay, so we have this path set. We can go in, we can have a look at the paths. There's the new work path. We can delete Steve's path, we don't need it. Okay, there's the new work path, so let's just name it. We'll name it pen. Okay, so we can go into each one of these. See how I've rounded that one, but I haven't rounded this one. So we can use this tool now, and we can go in and we can click here, click here, sorry, I'm going to place an anchor point there and one there. I'm going to delete this one, okay, and I am going to, let's go for the direct selection tool. Okay, so I'm going to grab this handle here and just pull it in a bit, and that handle there and pull that up a bit. So there is always a way to fix it. In Illustrator it's a bit easier than this, but it does work. I've used it many times in Photoshop, many times. So if we grab this one for instance and just pull that down there, try and get them sitting uniformly, and we can pull that one up there, we can pull this one down, we can pull this one down. So we can take our time and we can go round the whole path and make sure that we have everything quite uniform. So we have the path here, it's saved. Right, we can select the path using the path selection tool. So you would just hit, you would just hit A. If you were on the pen tool, you would just hit A, and it's giving you the direct path selection tool, which is here. Right, so you would select it like so. So you could make a selection out of that now, and what you would do is just fill it with something. Right, sorry. Make a selection. You would right click and say make the selection, no feather on it, so it makes a selection, and then just fill that like that. So we've done that path. Okay, so if we go here, we can turn off that layer, or we can just lower the opacity, but I like to start in a new layer. So we turn off this layer and we'll do the inside, but only half of it. Yeah, we're only going to do half of it, and I'll show you a trick with that. So we're going to do the inside now. So again, it's back to our old friend, the pen tool, and just start anywhere you want. Go up in here and let's trace that out. So go up here and let's trace this out. Okay. Very easy. You soon get the hang of this tool, and once you learn this tool, holding the Alt key down, once you learn this tool, creating paths really becomes second nature. I'll just move that up a bit, come in here, come round here, pull that anchor point down in that part. Remember, we can go in and adjust this. Come round here, pull that anchor point round, Okay, just get rid of that one. Come around here, that's what we want. Holding the shift space key. Okay, holding the Alt button option on a Mac, and we're nearly finished, and place the other one there. So let's create another selection with a different color. Okay, let's make a selection, and again it's Control and Enter makes the selection, Alt and backspace fills it with that color. Okay, so let's bring in the layer below it. Okay, so we can say we have this path, we have this part here fixed. Yeah, so what we want to do now is take a copy of this. Okay, very easy. You can hit Control J, that will make a copy of it, like so. Or what I like to do is hit the Option button and just pull it over, holding the Shift key in a straight line. Okay. Then with this selected, I'm going to click one of these nodes here. I'm not going to move it. I'm going to right click in the middle. I'm going to say Flip Horizontal. Okay. And then what I can do is I can move that back in, like so, and I can pull it out like that. Right, so we have an exact copy. We'll commit that. We have an exact copy on top of one another. Right click, we can merge them down. So it is now, let's have a look at that. Yeah, we don't need that one. So I've merged them down. Okay, so we have this one on top of this one. So we can turn this one off. We can turn the blue one off and keep the pink one up, right? And all we need to do is hold down the command button, click on the layer with the blue one in it, the thumbnail, and then hit delete. Command D. So we now don't need that anymore, but we'll keep it around, but we don't need it anymore. If you look, this is now nearly exactly the same as the image underneath it. If we turn it on and off, we can see it's not far away. We could even turn that image off, right, and see that it really is not far away. You know, if we come out to say 100%, and we've just created a blue pen. Very easy. So that's how you use the pen tool in Photoshop. It can be complicated. It can be as complicated as you want it to be. You know, I find that when I'm using it, I try not to overcomplicate things. Yeah. It makes for a workflow that has a bit more discipline in it. It has a bit more, you know, finesse to it. You've really took your time to go in and do it. You know, to make that black, by the way, to make that colour, you would just go in, you could add an effect over the top of it, which I would probably do is add a colour overlay over the top of this, and I would take that up to 100%, and I would choose that colour. That's it. Okay, okay, and now we literally have another colour. Let's check that overlay, and the blend mode's okay. That's fine. We'll choose this. That's it. Okay, and that's how you go about working with the pen tool. So let's look at a real world example of working with the pen tool. I'm going to open up a file, Skier for instance. I'll open up the two of these and I'll show you. This is a stock image, okay, of a skier that I want to cut out and use as an advertisement, for instance. Okay, so the first thing I would do with this is say, well, I don't really need this guy here. I don't really need this guy here on the right. I want this girl here. even although her hair might be a bit tricky to get. She's in fancy dress costume, so I want to get this girl here. I don't need the wings, everything else is green. Okay, so I'm going to use her so we can chop him out, which I've done here. And you know how to do that using various tools, like you don't even need to chop him out as long as you get her skis in, etc. So you want her skis, you want to not really bothered about the guys at the back. So this is the image here that we're going to work with. Another way you could have done it would be just to take the crop tool. You don't even need to, but it just lowers the size of the document. Take the crop tool, make sure you get her skis in, and bring down a bit of that sky. Well, that would do, yeah. And just take that. That's really all we need. We don't need anything else. But because I'm going to use this side of her, I'm going to use, if you think of it, I'll put a line down the middle here and show you what I'm actually thinking about. From here, if I hold that and just put a line right down the middle, this is the side here that I'm going to use. Yeah, I'm going to use this side here. This side here is going to be in black or a charcoal colour. Okay, so that's going to be black, but this is where the writing is going to go. But I need this part here to be clean, i.e. I don't need this guy's skis in or his skis are in, so I could take time, I could mask them out. You know how to do that already. Spot healing brush, go in there and tidy it up. Just go back in here and tidy it up. Yeah, so we'll get rid of it. And you need to get rid of his shadow as well. Okay, so I've basically done that in that other file. So we could get rid of most of that and get rid of his ski. You know, so you know how to do this already. I've showed you this spot healing brush. I've showed you how to work with it. So we get rid of that. We don't need that ski board there. We can get rid of that lump of snow if you want to reduce it a bit. We can get rid of his hand. Yeah, we can get rid of this person, take that away. You know, you just keep working like this and you clean up this image. Okay, so we want to look at it something like that. We will get rid of this guy. Okay, that's a certainty. We're going to get rid of him. This is locked as well. That doesn't help. So get rid of him. Okay, but I'll show you another way to get rid of him. So we're still left, if you look at some of the traces here, we're still left with, it's a very high resolution image, but we're still left with some parts of him. Yeah. So what I would do is I would take the zoom button, I'd go in there a bit, and I would take the pen tool, our old friend, and I would come round here. I don't need to be that accurate with it. Okay, I would come round here and I would go up here. I'm dragging as I'm going up. Okay, I'm dragging this. I just want to make a selection. Okay, and that selection is going to be right here. It's going to go right round here. So I've got this path. All I need to do, you don't need to save this path, but all I have to do here is hit Command and Enter. And I've got a selection. Now all I need to do is go to the clone stamp tool. That's this here. And I need to pick up some of this snow. So hold the Alt key down, or Option key in a Mac, and choose a part of the texture of the snow and pull it over here. Then I can literally, without going over, brush that out. You know, clever, eh? You know that, and it makes it, to me, that's the way I work. Something that I don't want to be disturbed, I'll mask it out, and in effect, that's what we've created. We've created a selection mask. Yeah, so we have that part sorted. So let's go over and fix this part. So it's Command D, we don't need that. Let's hit the zoom key and come in here. Okay, and what we're going to do is, again, we're going to take the pen tool and we're going to just come up the inside of her ski pants for the American people, trousers here in the UK, and come up here, take as much as you need, then come over and down the other side, right, like so. Okay, just coming down here and here. We want to get rid of that blue. So again, I've left this intentionally so that I show you how I clean the photo up before it goes to be composited with the text and various other things. So we just work around here, and there we have another path. Again, we're going to use a selection, so zoom out just a little bit, and we're going to hit Command and Enter, and we're going to take the clone stamp tool once more, hold over here, and just brush it in here. And it's as easy as that. You know, really is as easy as that. Command D. We've only got one piece up here to be fixed. There's another bit in here that we could fix, and we'll do that at the moment. We'll do that right now. That's right in here. And again, all I would do with that, because it's that small, is I would probably use the brush, right, the brush tool, and I would check that I was maybe 50% opacity and 50% on flow, and I would select the colour. I'm just holding the Option key or Alt key down, select the colour of the snow and lower the size of the brush and go in here and literally tidy that up, just brush it out. Now you can see with the 50% opacity I'm having to go over it 2 or 3 times, and it's all those little things that make a great image fantastic when you're finished with it. Again here, you know, we can select some of that snow and we can just blend that in a bit. There's a bit of a hard edge there. We can blend that in. We can blend this in. We can do what we want with the image. At the end of the day, this is a stock image, by the way, that I paid for ages ago. So we can get that. So we've got that bit done. Let's go over here to the other part. So there's a part here. Let's zoom out a bit. I'm hitting Command and minus to zoom out a bit. Let's take our old friend the pen tool using the P key and just take quite a bit. See how I'm dragging out as I'm going down here. Alright. I'm going in here. I'm taking quite a bit, even parts that I don't need to touch. Okay, and then I'm going to go over here and create quite a big area. Right, Command and Enter. Then I'm going to take the clone stamp tool, and what we'll do this time is we'll lower that down about 60%, again with the flow as well, about 60%. We will hold the Alt key down, that's the Option key in the Mac, and click on a part of the snow we want to copy over here. So if you watch, you're seeing that I'm copying that snow from over there, and because I've turned the opacity down and the flow, I'm getting a much better blend. Okay, a much better blend, and it will not go, because this is a selection mask, it will not go over that selection. Okay, so that's just another way of doing this. You know, I'm just tidying up this edge. Command D, we're finished with it. Let's have a look at it. So we have this, we'll fix that guy up later. What we want to do is get onto the the we want to get her kind of level a bit, turn around a bit. So we'll take a copy of this, and we can turn that one off because there'll be no opacity in it. And we're going to just turn her round a bit. If I take a line and take it right down through the middle of her head, I see she's sitting up on a hill, okay? But I would, for the poster, I want her to be level on the hill, yeah? So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit to grab the corners here, and I'm going to turn it round just a little, not much, like so. That's enough, okay? So what can we do about these parts here? I think you've seen me doing this before. We'll keep that that guide in there, and we'll just go view, lock the guides. I'll just lock that guide in place. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the magnetic lasso tool, and I'm going to click in just outside in here, taking a thin strip of that sky across here, and then I'm going to hold the shift key. Okay, let me just, okay, let me go back in here, and I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to do the same here. Okay, I'm holding the shift key, I've got those two selected. I'm going to select this bottom part, hold the shift key down, so I'm adding to the selection. Right, sorry. So I've got those three things selected. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Edit, Fill, Content Aware. Yours might be in foreground colour, background colour, or pattern or something. Content Aware, that's what you want here. I just hit OK. It's a large image. We're going to put it on an A4 poster. And what it will do, Photoshop will do its best to fill in the sky, the snow. In fact, it does a very, very good job. That's why I use Photoshop and not GIMP or anything else. It does a very good job straight off the bat. So, what we want to do is, we'll go back here and we'll unlock the guide. What we want to do is come back here. We want to move that guide over a bit. Just maybe to about there. Okay. This is going to be our center part for the whole graphic. Right, don't worry about that part at the back. It's not going to be seen. We'll get round to fixing that guy out later. But right now I'm going to use the pen selection tool, and I'm going to select this side of the whole graphic. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've got the paths open here, so we can get rid of that work path. We don't need it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take the pen selection tool. I'm going to zoom into this photograph like that. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click once. Okay, I'm then going to come up to the ski and hold the shift key down if you want, because I want a nice straight line here. I'm going to come up to the ski. I'm going to click once. Now I want that to be sharp, so the ski is here. It's right along there, and it comes up here. Okay, and we're going around. Okay, and we're going down here to this point here, and we're coming back up. So what we want to do now is just zoom in a bit, Command and plus, zoom in as much as you need, Command and plus, and we're going to come up here and we're going to trace the, I don't know what you call these, I think it would be shoe holders or something. The skiers there will be shouting at me. You know, they're the running, Steve, or something like that. You know, I put a hard point in there. I never dragged the cursor so that I can pull this up here and follow the contours of this. Just dragging the cursor just a little. Dragging the handles just a little. Okay, and I'm getting all that in. I'm coming right round here. And again, it's for a poster. You can get away with it because there's so much you can do. I'm just going to do this quickly. You would take a lot more time with this, but I'm going to do this quickly. We'll be here till 10 o'clock. Of course, the Illustrator webinars will be starting in 2 weeks' time, not next week. I've got something on. In 2 weeks' time they will be starting. And this stuff is so much easier in Illustrator. The pen tool although the pen tool here has been around a lot longer than Illustrator, because Illustrator was, the first version came out after Photoshop. So the pen tool, I would dare say, with Adobe were ported over, for want of a better phrase. And we just keep going up here. It'll be interesting when we get to the hair, but I know what we're doing there, so just keep going up. I see nobody's bored yet. Karen, you're not bored yet. You know, so we'll just keep going up. I'm going to go right up to the top here. There'll be parts that we don't need, and with using the pen tool we can cut them out very easily. So we're going to turn round here, turn round there. We're going to go up. You can put as many points as you want in. Okay. I'm just going to move this back a bit, over a bit. Just holding the space bar when I do that, guys. And click on this one and pull it back. Okay, we're doing great. This part here, I'm not going to bother about that. I think I'll distract the text. So what I'm going to do, let's go back a couple, and I'm going to pull that round there, nice round curve. Bypass this green part altogether. That, I think it would distract the eye. Okay, it says we're not going to bother about she's in fancy dress, so we're not going to bother about the fairy wings. Okay, and we're going to go down here. Nice sharp corner. We're going to go up here. We're getting there. I see most of you are still with me anyway. You know, I know Peter can't be with us tonight. He's, I think, visiting relatives. So when you do get watching it, Peter, you'll be able to go in and practice all this with your pen tool. Okay, and just keep tracing it. It is laborious, but once it's done, the path can be saved. That's another thing. It can also be saved within so we've got a straight line here. I would probably curve that just a little, you know, just to knock the straightness off it. Comes in here, goes back out there. So the pen tool, these can be saved in TIFF images. They can obviously be saved in PSDs, which is the Photoshop format. I don't know, Archie, if you were taking a document. I know that GIMP opens PSDs, but I don't know if you were taking a document over that had paths in it, if the paths or vectors would be there when you opened it. I'd like to think they were if they were opening a PSD file, but as I said, I've never used it and I've not got the time to learn it. Very good software. I'm not knocking it. Well, anything that frees good, you know, so I'm certainly not knocking it. I'm going up here. Now we're getting to the hair. I've got a wee trick with the hair. I'll show you what we can do with that. You know, I could go round here. In fact, I'll come round here and I'll take this part. I'll go up here. I'll take that part. I'm missing a lot of it out. I'll put it back in later. I'm going right up here, missing all that out. Don't need it. I'll add that later. Don't make the job, if you got in there, I mean, you'll be making the job, you know, a lot harder than it really is. So just grab all what we've got here. Nice hard point here because we're going to go around the helmet. Okay. And hold the space bar, move that one over a bit. And I'm doing all this with a mouse, guys. I'm not using, I have got a Wacom tablet here. I've also got a Cintiq. I'm not doing this with any of them. You know, when I first got the Cintiq is a tablet that's connected to the computer and you draw with it. You know, you're drawing on the screen. And when I first got one, I was doing everything with it on screen and screencasts and everything. And I soon realized that people didn't have these tools. They were so expensive, I think £1,700 for a Cintiq, you know, and they didn't have these tools. And I don't need to go any further than that. In fact, I've went too far, you know, so don't worry about it. We just go back. I went too far. I would have went down the other side of her. We don't need to go around the other side of her. What we're going to do is go up here like that. We're going to hold the Alt key down, click there. Then we're going to go to the top here and we're going to click there on the guide that we put in. We're then going to come over here, hold the Shift key down nice and square, come over there, come right down the bottom where we started, hold the Shift key down again, nice and square, okay, and finish off and close it. Now the next thing we're going to do, that we've got that work path in place, so the next thing we are going to do is we're going to name this work path, okay, and I'm just going to call it blank path, because that's what we're going to do with it. We are going to blank out a portion of the screen and we're just going to say OK. Right, so that's what we have. So we've got the blank path. We could turn it off. That's it off. We can turn it back on. We've got it here, right? And what we'll do is select it with the path selection tool. Make sure we've got it selected, and then we'll just hit the option. No, we'll just hit the Command and Enter key, and that'll create a selection. Okay, so we'll go back to our layers now. So we've got this layer that we've fixed, and we're going to put a selection in it. If we just hit the Add Layer Mask button down the bottom here, if we just hit that, right, we'll cut out the side that we don't want. Okay, but let's go back one. If we hold the Option key down and click on the Add Layer Mask button, hold the Option key down, click on the Add Layer Mask button, we'll cut out the side that we do want. Okay, So it's quite easy now, because all we need to do is pick a colour of grey that we're going to use. That is a colour like that, kind of blue in it, a bit of blue. And we're going to hit the back, we're going to put a layer below it, right? And we'll just call that BG. And we're going to fill it. We can either go up to fill and fill here, where it will say foreground colour. We could click that. What I like to do is hit Alt and backspace. If I wanted to fill it with this white colour, okay, over here, that would be Control and backspace, or Command and backspace, okay? But Alt and backspace gives me that colour. Now, the hair, okay? We have this, if we click on our mask, for instance, we have this outline, this white outline, going around the subject. I don't want that. You know, I'd rather, you know, it was free from that. So all I'm going to do is zoom into 100%. And I'm going to hit F and F again so that you can see I'm at 100% here. Okay. Zoom into 100%, click on the layer mask over here, and then I'm going to go up to select, and I'm looking for select and mask. This is CC 2015.5, so it's select and mask. It's not, it used to be, you'll be looking for refine edge. Yeah, that's what you'll be looking for if you're using something earlier. CC 2014, CC 2015, I'm sure, a CS6, CS5, it'll be refine edge that will be in here. So I'm going to say select and mask, right? So here I'm going to say on black, that's fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feather that edge just a little. You can see it going away already. Okay, I can shift the edge as well. Let's shift it the other way, and I can shift the edge down just a little, not much. And I'm also going to decontaminate the colours. So in output settings here, that will decontaminate the colours. Right, so I have that there. It's a lot better than it was. It has fixed that issue. We'll sort the hair, okay, and it'll say, we could say remember settings if we wanted to ever come back here. We'll just do that. Edge detection, the radius, we could smooth it a bit if we wanted. If we think it's too abrupt, we could certainly smooth it just a little. See it smoothing it out, you know, and we can throw a bit of contrast in there. So that's looking a lot better, right? And just hit the OK button. So what will happen there is it will take us back into, that's fine. So sorry, let's go back in there. I think so select and mask. We don't have to do it all again. Okay, selections is still there, shift edge. Let's feather that out a bit. Let's go up here so that we can see it on black. Sorry about this, guys. Let's feather that just a little. Let's add a bit of contrast to it. Let's bring down that a bit. Looks better. Feather, that's fine. That's it, that's better. And we can hit OK. So that looks a lot better than it did. Again, you can go in and you can tidy it up more if you wanted to. But that's what we're looking at. So what we want to do here, because this is for a poster, so what we want to do here is we want to go up to the top here, and we'll bring a selection round our head and fix that as well. Okay, so we can do this within the mask here. Just grab the pen tool and we will go round her helmet like that, and then we'll hold the Alt key down and we will create an abstract shape up to the top, along there, down here, and there. So we've made another path, so we can say Command and Enter. So we know we need to fill that with black, right? So Alt and backspace to fill that with black. So you can see how this is going. Down the bottom, we are going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to place a point here, and we are going to take that, come round here like this, go round there. It's not a very good shape. Okay, not a very good shape at all, Steve. Don't need that much. That's it. Okay. Right. And again, go back in here, come up here to the top, and then close it. So we've closed the path. Then it's Enter, backspace, and fill it with black. Okay, and then what we'll do, you're going to love this. What we're going to do now is we're going to right click on it, okay, and say, hang on, sorry, right click on it, layer, okay, path selection, paths, work path, Command D, sorry about this, take this, and we are going to delete one of those. In fact, we're not going to delete anything. That's fine the way it is. I'm just going to move the whole path. Okay, I'm going to take the path, I'm going to move it down here. That's where we want it. Right there. Okay, and do that. Go back to the layer and fill it. Command D. Sorry about that. So we have this sort of thing set up. We could go in and put the snow in the bottom. I think that might look better if we put snow in the bottom of it. You know, so it's not off the cuff. I've actually done this before. So we can go to 100%. 100% seems to be more accurate for some reason. Put a point in there. Put a point over here. Hold the space bar down and pull it down. See how I'm holding? That's a rubber band thingy. Hold the space bar down. Okay, I can then hold the command button down and I can move that point here if I wanted. Right, and then all I need to do is continue it round the ski. Oops. Right, as round the ski, like so. I think what we'll do here is do that. Okay, so that we are That's it. Command and enter. Go here, fill that with white, command and backspace. Okay. So that's what we want. Command D. So that's what we want. We now put our text in there. We can move this anywhere we want. Right, we can take this photograph and we can move it anywhere we want. Remember that we can use various tools to get it. I'll just pull that in there a bit. We can use various tools to bring in the snow. For instance, we can just use the clone stamp tool here. Again, what I like to do when I'm using the clone stamp tool is just go over here and create a selection, take the clone stamp tool and grab some of the snow and paint it in. Let's take that up. Let's take that up. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, doesn't like that, so another way to do that is to grab the lasso tool and go in, grab some of the snow, make a copy of it, pull the snow over, yeah, throw it down in size a bit, flip it, yeah, pull it over, make a copy of it, flip it, pull it up and over like that, so that we get some of the shadow in anyway. And then take this one, stretch it out a bit, merge them together, and let's turn it off for a moment. Looks okay, but we can tidy it up. Let's just move it down. Let's just merge it down, or put it under that, that's better. And then it's a matter of using the lasso tool okay, going in here, hitting delete, command D, so it's a nice straight line, and we can get rid of that artifact there using the clone stamp tool. Oops, sorry, on the wrong layer. Okay, very easy, as easy as that. So we're left to get rid of this guy at the side here, but we won't bother with him. What we're going to do is just put the text in. I'll just hide that layer. In fact, I'll clear the layers, clear the guides, don't need them, and we'll just put the text in. And we'll go in here and we'll grab a bluey white. I always like to use a colour from this and then pull the hue out it, the saturation out it, sorry. Okay, so that keeps the colour schemes the same. So I'm just going to use a Gotham font. We'll just select that Gotham, and I'm going to use black, and it's going to be ski. Okay, put that there, pull that down there, select that, take this, pull it up in size, sorry about the wording guys, but you know. And take this one here and do the same, just take it off the skew a bit so that it's readable, but it's somewhere there. Okay. Just pull that down there. Okay, nothing fancy about it. What we could do is we could take the word drop, okay, and we could pull that down so that we've made a copy of it, but move it above that layer, and then we could use this colour. So if we took that and used that colour, and we pulled it up above that one, and then right click and flip vertical, we can pull that up there like that, okay, and we can pull this other word drop down a bit like that, up a bit, that's it. And let's take this one, lower the opacity of it so that some of the snow comes through. Yeah, so it's slowly, we're slowly building up the poster. It's large, so that's how we would go about using paths. I'm not going to do any more of it. That's how we go about using the pen tool, and it's run over an hour. I'm usually 2 hours or 90 minutes, but the Illustrator the Illustrator episodes will be about an hour to an hour and a half long. There'll be 6 of them. They will start 2 weeks this evening, and we're going to be doing, I do all this stuff in Illustrator. If I need a live model or anything like that, then I'll do it in Illustrator. Another quick thing we can do here is we can apply the layer mask. I mean, usually I wouldn't do this, and merge that down. We can merge that one down so that we have this here. Another thing we can do is take a copy, put a layer below this one, okay, and hold the command button down and take a copy of that and fill this in with that black. So command D, and we'll take our charcoal colour and OK, and we'll fill this in, command and hit the layer 1 copy, and we'll fill that in with that colour. In fact, black would probably be a bit better for that. And again, Alt backspace, filling it in with that colour. Command D, I'm going to go up here to filter and blur, and I'm just going to hit a Gaussian blur, and we'll have a look at it. Right, let's add a little bit more to it. Okay. Right, and what you can do here is you can do the same with the text that will make it pop, you know, so we'll do that. Let's hold command button, layer below it, select the text. Okay, that's the wrong one. Select the Ski-Till U drop text, fill that in with black. That's fine. Command D, move it down below your text layers, go back up and choose the Gaussian blur again. Right, and I don't know if you can see it at your end, but there it's making this just pop. You know, if I turn it off and on, you might be able to see it. You know, if I turn it off, on, you can see how it's certainly made that pop. You know, and that's the idea. We take the word drop, we have that over the top of that, so that's fine. We take the word drop, put it over the top of that. Okay, and we do the same again. And grab that and fill it with black. And Command D, and just go up and Gaussian blur. Okay, and that makes it just pop a bit. I think, you know, we can move her up so that she's in front of that, and move the other drop above her. That's it. That's the order we're looking for. So the top would be filled in with some more information, etc., and you would then put it out to an A4 page. You would take a stamp of it, for instance, take a stamp. You would go up and you would say new A4 page, right? You would then go and grab your stamp and pull your whole stamp over to the A4 page like that, and you would bring that in at the sides so that it covered the top, and we're looking for that. That's our finished poster. Okay, we could add more in at the top. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave that to you. You're all experts now in Photoshop, and that's how you go about it. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to do Illustrator. I'm sorry for the pink face, by the way. I'll need to get my camera calibrated. This light's starting to go as well. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time with Illustrator tutorials. You're absolutely going to love these. You know, we're going to take Illustrator and we're going to pull it apart. You know, we're going to be using Photoshop. So practice. You've got a fortnight to practice all this. We're going to be using Photoshop and Illustrator together to make posters. We're going to make flyers. We're going to make everything. We're going to do coasters. We're going to do calendars. We're going to do everything. We're going to use some third-party plugins that are free for Illustrator that enables you to do a calendar in a matter of minutes. You know, so that's it for this one, guys. Listen, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who have tuned into these webinars. I don't get anything for it. I don't look for anything for it, you know, but I enjoy doing them. And what we'll do is we'll start with the Illustrator ones. We'll move on to Cinema 4D, and we'll bring in a bit of a 3D. And we'll also bring in After Effects as well, where we can use all of the software, you know, the 4 packages together to create some stunning graphics, you know, some absolutely stunning stuff. And so I'm looking forward to see you all in 2 weeks' time for the Illustrator webinars. I think I'll probably increase them to maybe 8 episodes because there is a lot to learn in Illustrator. But for Photoshop, I know I've skipped over a few things. I will be doing a few screencasts, and I'll put them along with the webinar videos on YouTube. It's been great doing this with you, And I know you've learnt a lot because Lewis and Peter, Angus, Karen, I think Caroline's been tuning in as well. I didn't think she was shy though. You know, I don't think she was shy, but it's been great here. So I've not got any questions and answers. Nobody sent me any this week. So all I'm going to say is thanks very much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks' time at the same time. It'll be all over my Facebook anyway. Thank you very much, guys. Good night.